I've got the ruler out. Bow tie there. Chat. I forgot. Got to send this on Discord. Orders. It's been a hot minute. First hi. What's up? No. You guys showed up quick. Return of the King. Hey, Malleus. You can't keep a good penguin down. You're the first game we're covering. If I the backlog is mighty. New rotation sucks. I don't know. New rotation of maps? Habits. You're extremely worried that you'll throw your tournament game? Don't worry about it. There's always another tournament. There was a fog rotation. It's always okay to lose. You're like losing on flame. I guess he'll be this size. I could make my penguin a little smaller. Maybe. I'm shrinking. That's fine. Using a flame wreath. Wait, no flame wreath? Right? There's so many maps. That's Fog of War. It's not Fog of War. I'm gonna bring this over here. We can look together. I'm back. The flame wreath is not Fog of War. Probably going. Oh no, it's right there. Is this the map with the band? Oh, it's this map. This is a little bit awkward of a map. Still got work to go. ATV gonna roast me because it's high funds? That's fair. Yeah, this one's a little bit weird of a map. You have your quad base with base airport against triple base. It's definitely a weird one. And then you have the double comm towers with the really contested ones in the middle. Asked me a question weeks ago and I never got back to you. It was rather sick. I'll see what I can find you. Oh. Yeah, I can send you the files. I think. Going for the burdening. Did it get misspelled? I'll fix that. Year 0. That's true. Against a true boss, I do have 1 victory, 0 losses. Okay, so this is a map I had practiced with Mr. Greensuit with. It was more for Mr. Greensuit's benefit, but in that one practice game, I definitely recognized that Max is really, really, really strong on this map. There's the very powerful airport, and it's fairly open with easy front switches through these little what do you call it, like valleys between the mountains. Recons galore. So I was like, wow, Max is so strong on this map, and I have been playing nothing but mirrors for months, so I am not gonna pick Max. Now I could pick Von Bolt, but I've also only been playing Von Bolt. Well, I've been playing him a lot, and I was like, well, I can't pick Andy because Max is just so strong. And Andy just so dies against Max. It's not even close, because Max with super gets a whole bunch of like one shots on Andy. So I was like, well, there's no way my opponent's gonna pick Andy, and there's a high likelihood that they're either gonna pick Von Bolt or they're gonna pick Max. So I'll pick Drake, so that Drake's pretty bad on this map because it's a really strong airport, but as long as they're not Andy, I can wear them down, because it's like a large map. It's like get a bunch of powers going, and I can like wear down their troops over time. That was my idea. If Max like uses a super and just like crushes me, at least I'll get my super in response, and I'll be able to try and maintain the unit value that way. However, my opponent outsmarted me in this case. I'm actually not sure why I'm player 2. Well, I shouldn't be player 2, but that's okay. My opponent did choose Andy, which I was shocked by, because Max is just so strong on this map. And I've played a few Max versus Andy in both High Funds and High Funds Fog, and Max just kills Andy. Yeah, Max just straight up kills Andy, especially in the air. And Mega Tanks hit Max. Mega Tanks can one-shot Andy Mega Tanks. It's just so bad. So yeah. I'm not sure how to pronounce my opponent's name, because there's no vowels. Sruthguv Leet. I'll just call them Leet. Leet definitely outsmarted me. Picked Andy. Had the guts to pick Andy on this map, and completely ruins my entire plan with my pick. So seeing Andy, I was like, well, there's only one way I'm ever going to win this on a strong air map against Andy as Drake, and that's going to be if I can manage to get both comm towers. And I'm going to try and go for it, because I was like, if I don't get those 2 comm towers, I'm probably just going to get worn down and die. So you'll see in the game, I will go for the rolls to try and get those comm towers. The rolls, we'll see how the rolls treated me. Where was the warning about the stream? I put up a schedule on Saturday. It should put up for YouTube subscribers. Today is replays. Wednesday is... Oh man. Wednesday's either custom CO stuff or it's... Yeah. I do a little community post on YouTube for the coming week. Okay, here we go. And the pre-owned city for player 2 is just part of the first turn advantage balance for high funds. It was Saturday. It was Saturday for me. It was Saturday at like 5 something. It's like no notice. It used to be no notice. I would just kind of stream every day. Okay. So it's a little interesting that Leet goes down here first. It's the closest economic. It's kind of following the basic flowchart for a standard opening, but it does leave the comm tower possibly stealable because there's going to be like slower infantry presence up here. Instead, the infantry could go up here and go for this capture, or you could even go over here and start going for these more dangerous cities. But going here is not bad. I mean, you get money faster, and it lets you like hop down over to the airport. I think I might do the same thing. Started playing Advanced Wars by Web now, almost 25 games completed. That's great. Okay, so I do indeed do the same thing. I have a sneaky plan to get my comm tower. I consider this my comm tower, and I consider this Leet's comm tower over here. There's an APC build on this map to try to get this airport really fast, but I wasn't really interested in that as Drake. And there's also some recon stuff. Okay. So the plan here, if I next turn complete this capture, it will give my opponent a chance to interrupt me. So I'm not going to complete this capture. I'm going to move on to the comm tower before my opponent can do anything about it. And I'll get the tank over here and try and start a fight on my 2 base versus 1 base side. Is the idea here. And there we go, we get tank, but sadly Andy has enough money for tank. So has both avenues covered there. I don't know about going for this capture right now. I think I probably would have been better off going over here just to have another infantry going for this comm tower. But at the same time, I don't want it to look like I'm rushing the comm tower. The artillery buy, I kind of regret. The idea with this is that I want to... I'm going to just like be fighting over here. If I manage to steal the comm tower right away, I can lock it down. And I might be able to have some artillery setups in like the fighting between these mountains and woods. You can see here, because I moved on to this comm tower, it's actually too fast for my opponent to interrupt it, which is really good for me. Did I consider a rocket lock on the tower? For this one, I did not, although I think it would have been totally fine. I thought artillery would be fine. Fine for locking it because I could just sit behind the mountains and fire. A rocket would be nice because it would have more range. Okay, so I have a comm tower. It did cost me a little bit of income to go for that. And I'm moving over I'm kind of doing the same thing where I'm capturing a city that's in range of the comm tower, so I can cancel the capture and go for it. Although at this point, Leet is very prepared, got double tank and everything, and the airport's going to be coming online soon for Andy, which is really bad for me. So instead of going for a capture here, Leet just decides to kill off this infantry. I think that's a good play. Gonna hurt a tiny bit economically, but lowering my infantry count on the one base side is a big deal. So I agree with that. Andy does not like my hijinks, because I could go sit on the comm tower and then put an artillery guarding me, which would have been very funny to me. Okay, now at this point, my entire game plan is going to be trying to hold this and trying to take this. So I think this is a low... No, it's not a low roll on my attack, but it's a high roll on the counterattack, which knocks me down to 7 instead of 8. Because Andy doesn't have a comm tower and I'm in the woods. Which is very, very unfortunate. But it doesn't mean I'm a healthy 7. Yeah, I'm trying to bring out some big guns to save this. Probably an indirect. Might have been better than the medium tank here. See the pressure I'm putting on this comm tower here. I want it. Leet's doing a much better job in the middle here. I've been definitely preoccupied. This is a good block. Because I'm not gonna let this go through. The tank can still interrupt it, but it leaves it exposed to getting hit by this other tank, which is really sad. You're a healthy 7. Oh. What is this fancy rewatching tool? I think I have it in the description. It's a standalone you can download it. It's very fancy. Very fancy. Okay. So I still want this comm tower. My opponent's building up a bunch of forces to try and defend it. But I want to try and kill this tank and overload this artillery is my goal. Over here, I have to lose this tank to save this comm tower. So bringing over another artillery to super lock this down. Hit this down to 1. And then it lives. Oh no. So it living is bad. Of course, because because this is Andy. So this isn't really a 1 health tank living. It gets to be healed up very quickly in high funds with a super. This is definitely a risky play to go for. It wouldn't be risky if I got in the better roll of here, but that's totally fine. You can't get salty over the rolls. Kind of, you know what you're getting yourself into. And then I want to block off this side. So if this doesn't, I think there's like a very slim chance that the artillery can't kill this tank. Might not even be that slim, because he doesn't have a comm tower. This is high funds, yeah. Yeah, I got Neo Tank and Medium Tank coming in. Save this. This tank interrupted this capture. It's going to die for it. But I should be able to hold this, assuming I managed to get myself an indirect. This is very unfortunate. try and wall off just in case. I think with the tank living, it's actually impossible because the artillery can fire and then this tank can always finish it off. But, oh well. That was the idea. Execution, not so great. So the tank hits the artillery, and then the infantry can just hit this infantry because poor tank was not able to hold its line there. This tank goes down to these two tanks. The comm tower is saved though, so mission half accomplished. You know, it's something. And yeah, this is really scary because now this tank is to heal up to 3, and then after one more turn, it heals up to 5, and then the super goes off and it heals all the way back up to 10. Very, very unfortunate. I'm doing a little bit better in the catching up in the middle progress, but because I have had to invest so much in trying to first take this comm tower and now maintain the comm tower, I'm very far behind in captures around the map. I'm not sure. Why didn't I attack? Oh, I see. Medium tank's gonna kill it, and this guy's threatening to take a difference. Gotcha. Yeah, the range, the Neo tank. Finally get an indirect to try and hold this area down. Again, this is like, if I wasn't fighting Andy, these kind of trades wouldn't be that bad, but this is really bad. Because Andy can just heal this back up to full with just a super. So I'm only really scaring him away for a very limited amount of time. This infantry lives the attack. And then I get this transport copter, one, because I don't really want to try and fight Andy. Copter the copter is Drake. And two, I have like no infantry over here. So the idea was I was going to start shipping infantry over. And its unit count, of course, you can be used as a blocker. Was the idea with that. The copters are coming in. You can see why this airport's so strong. It's right in the middle, so after one turn, it's already threatening captures, and then it can either like front switch over here, or it can hit this front. Yeah, and everything can just kind of fall back. I mean, at least my opponent hasn't gotten the comm tower at this point. So I am up a comm tower. I'm down quite a few units and a little bit behind in regards to income. I think this was a mistake of the transport copter movement. I should have just got it over to the base. I think I had plans of picking up this guy. This guy already has like targets to try and capture, so that was definitely a mistake. And at this point, I'm in a lot of trouble because this artillery is very safe on the city with a lot of backup, and it's staring at this comm tower, so I have to like build up a strike force to even attempt to try taking this now. While as Andy, you can go for if I was Andy in this case, I could go for a capture like this because of the super being able to heal me up. Makes it much more of a threat. Time for Rocket. I could see Rocket being good. I didn't want to deal with it because there's so many roads, and Andy is going to get movement boosts with the super, and it's going to be really hard for me to actually keep it safe. No ultras. Okay, so Leet goes in here, picks off that infantry, hacks this artillery, which is a very odd play to me. But it's fine. I mean, this does kill off an infantry. It does give me quite a few options for whether or not I want to attack, and if I want to like use my normal power. The double artillery is doing a lot of work though, because if my Neo tank comes in, like if I go medium tank, Neo tank to kill this Neo tank, there are 2 artillery to shoot at me, which is very painful. And killing off this infantry does mean that I lose a lot of presence over my comm tower. This was a nice little block with this this tank and copter. This tank is stopping this anti-air from hitting the copter, and this copter is stopping this tank from hitting the tank. I like it. Again, very patient over here, just really locking it down. At this point, it's gonna start getting a nice income advantage over me. I just killed this tank. I did look at killing off this Neo tank, but I figure I might as well just take the tank kill. And then I can use this normal power in order to one-shot this infantry. So I can then one-shot this anti-air. Which means I can start bringing a copter down here. Even though it's a pretty weak copter, as long as there's no anti-air around, it can still threaten stuff. I do a little boost. This was definitely a mistake. I should have moved this transport copter over here to give another boost. Instead I go to there. So that, part of this was I wanted to, I think I was trying to force Leet to use a super that's like not an amazing super. So like this copter can kill my transport copter if the super is used with the extra. Yeah, the tsunami, because with the tsunami, I can kill the infantry that was on the city with the anti-air, which then lets my medium tank kill this anti-air. As well as just be really annoying. It's not a huge deal if I super or if I do 1 damage. Yes, Andy. Here, Leet really wants to get... thinks this is a really good super turn, so it's going to... go for the attacks here. I didn't think it was super great. The 1 damage also stops this from being perfectly threatened. I don't remember... like, it kills my transport copter. Nice, this capture. Yeah. So I wasn't... Oh, but the thing that I didn't see with the super turn is that it does let this infantry reach the comm tower for this capture, which is a really big problem for me. Because I had everything ready for next turn to lock it down. And we're going to see me go for another roll here. Yeah, uh-oh. Instant regret. I mean, it's good. It's good here. Getting that extra move for the infantry to capture the comm tower is huge. Because I'm banking a lot on managing to get both of them. Can't I get a normal power next turn? I don't think I quite can. Because this guy can't reach this other Neo tank. The double force. So, again, I'm going to go for a roll here. I could, of course, like, artillery shoot this and then medium tank hit this, but there's a decent chance that medium tank plus infantry can kill this 9 health tank. Unfortunately, I do not get I get an awful roll on that attack. So, abort. Have the copters come on in here because it's still pre-season for me because it's not gonna have the super for the extra range. You hate to see it. I know. I was like, ah. I mean, I knew it was a possibility. I definitely felt like I knew it was a possibility, and I felt like it was kind of forced because if I let this comm tower go, I lose all the possible advantage I could have. And here you can see I'm gonna be very aggressive around this comm tower. Andy's just a little bit out of position. So even if these two artillery fire, I have another Neo tank. I have both artillery here, so I can clean up. The tank plus infantry, was that only a 50%? I thought that was guaranteed. Okay, and now I have to get a lot of anti-air because the copters are coming. And this one's gonna die. And pretty much my air game is going, like, Drake copters are kind of fine. But as soon as Leet here builds a fighter, there is nothing I can do in the air. Andy fighters, I mean, the fighters are just hard to kill. And they crush bombers and battlecopters. And Andy can just keep healing them up and get a lot of value off of them getting shot and all that. Not guaranteed because of the power defense. Gotcha. I lose my medium tank for that, which was expected. These brazen Neo tanks. So the reason why these Neo tanks can kind of just dive in, there's like triple copter threatening it, but it's an Andy Neo tank, you see. So it can take triple copters hits, just get the power charge, and then use a super. Plus these are Drake copters. Does Andy fighter need APC support? Not really. I mean, they kind of do against Drake. I do believe that Leet gets an APC because units here are running out of fuel. Like this does only have 10 fuel left, for instance. And here, oh, there we go. APC Mega Tank. Mega Tank's really, really difficult for me to deal with. Because of course it's an Andy Mega Tank, so even if I like chip it down, it just heals back up. And it also gets that movement boost, which is really strong on Mega Tanks. It's kind of like it's basically just like a super mech. Your copters and AA could free the Neo. Yeah, attacking the Neo with all my copters is not great. If I can kill off a copter, I'm much happier. So that's what I go for. And I take 2. I mean, it's still a positive trade, but anyway, that was to get my super, or this attack over here is to get my super. The super, I think, was to protect my Neo tanks, if I remember correctly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yeah. So even if Andy uses the super, this Neo tank can't hit my Neo tank because the planes costs another tile. And I get to kill off this artillery, which is nice. I have a big old infantry swarm coming in. So it's looking like maybe, possibly, I can finagle something to get this comm tower again. Really, if I can just deal with the medium tank, it is down to 8 fuel. I get a bomber here. Because the fighter hasn't been built yet. I'm kind of forcing the fighter here. But there's just a bunch of like Neo tanks around here. So we have triple artillery bomber buy. Is that a good buy? Probably not. But it's kind of like expensive way to deal with medium tanks and Neo tanks, and then inexpensive ways of dealing with the heavier tanks is the idea. And then yeah, Andy just goes for the normal power here, which I found really interesting. I thought for sure it would be super to heal up all the damage. The normal power does heal up all of the damage that my super does, but you can see here like this tank lives because of it. Very tiny little APC move. Oh, it's to pick up the infantry next turn. Here comes the fighter. Neo tank beating the Neo tank beating up my poor copter. Okay, so the middle's looking not great. I've lost this comm tower, which is awful. Maybe, possibly, I can get it back here. I actually get this city. I think this infantry could have stopped that, but it would have died. I think Leet just didn't want the to completely run out of infantry on the one base side, kind of like how I have. The only reason you didn't go for super was because you want the normal power and then super. I see. It's pretty hard to go normal power and then super. That's a steep ask. Okay, so here I'm using the bomber. I think I could have placed the bomber in a better spot, but I'm using the bomber to guard against these Neo tanks over here, combined with the closeness to this base to try and deter the fighter with being able to just build vehicles directly into this fight, like so. Okay. I definitely regret going for this attack, because I do see that this anti-air can hit here, but I thought that I would be able to kill off this anti-air, I think, if I remember correctly. I think with my bomber, but Leet is on to me here. Yeah, I have an interesting chain of indirects here. So the artillery covering this anti-air. This artillery is covering this anti-air. We got Neo tank and bomber covering over here. So it's not super easy to attack into. Oh, the copter just hit here. Okay. You can see, and yeah, Andy copters just beat up my poor copters. No problem. So you wanted a super on this turn. Yeah, this is a tank. Neo tank kills tank, and then my Neo tanks can kill this Neo tank. But then there's a mega tank to kill my Neo tank, so it's a slightly negative trade for me. I think this medium tank, yeah, it's down to 3 fuel. If only I was able to slow it down just a little bit more, it could have been stranded there until an APC came up. If another mega tank, I still have no way of dealing with these things. If I was against anyone but Andy, I could slowly like whittle them down with my powers. So I'm gonna go in here with the bomber to kill a Neo tank. It doesn't really matter if I'm like killing a full health Neo tank or a 7 health Neo tank against Andy. They're almost the same thing because of how they heal up. And oh, I didn't want to attack with the forest because of course the artillery is coming in the spot. It would have been nice if I got that kill, but I think that's like almost an impossible roll. I probably would have been better off just sacrificing this copter into this copter to try and get that roll instead. Because of course, like this 2 health copter is not a 2 health copter. That's a 7 health copter. So missing those kills is very expensive. Here I'm seeing that I'm like not going to get anything else done over here. So I'll just start retreating until I can maybe muster something up. If like these guys leave, then maybe I can have an attack on the comm tower. The attack leaving me vulnerable to the Mega seems optimistic. It was basically just trading a Neo tank for a Neo tank was the idea. Oh, the 2 health infantry almost did it. It's the bomber with... Doesn't hit the bomber with the fighter. I'm assuming because there's 2 anti-airs waiting for it. And I thought for sure that I could stop this fighter from doing anything this turn. But no, this is a very good Neo tank block. Now this super will be sweet. What super? Okay. Making sure I can't step on the comm tower. Here comes the rockets to lock everything down and constant copter production. At this point, I'm in a lot of trouble. I don't super this turn. I think I try and save it to try and because I didn't see any good plays with it, so I go for a really risky wall, and I'm trying to save the super to be. This doesn't work in high funds like it works in other modes, but I'm still trying it, which is like if you use your super, then I'll hit you with my super, and then that global damage will kind of like stick around because you will have used your power. Is the threat in high funds? That's not a real threat because the powers just come so quickly. So they can, like, it's not a real threat because even if I hit with a super, it'll only really stick around for like 1 turn of damage, and then Andy can heal it all off. So over here, there's definitely a huge weak point, which is this 2 health copter, but I was kind of banking on this fighter not wanting to hit it, and the Neo tank somehow not getting the kill. However, leet here. Also, yeah, I was looking at this copter over here, and I was only thinking about it attacking on this side, which is why I built this anti-air. I didn't even cross my mind that I can just come over here and kill the walling copter. Yeah, now we're in trouble. The artillery fall. The anti-airs fall. I think the bomber survives. But most of the middle is pretty much cleaned up with that attack. And now the Mega Tank is just like in the fray. It even has APC support. So the little attack over here is definitely the nail in the coffin. Another APC. I think this turn is just super into Resign because I couldn't figure out anything to do here. So yeah, I just resigned there. So well played. I think if I was to go at this matchup again, I would still probably aim for getting both comm towers, but I would definitely have a different approach, a less risky approach with this comm tower. Probably just try and overload it with a lot of units rather than rushing it. But it's a tough matchup, and my opponent played very well. $950? Are you talking about my high funds rating? Leech is like 1,200, I think? 1,300? 1,200? I can check. My high funds rating is 980. That's what you're talking about. Oh, it says. Why does it say 9? You were like 1,200, weren't you? Oh, you were like 1,100. You have like a huge drop here. What happened? Your main account is 1,250. Oh, I don't feel bad. You know, you're gonna lose games. That's how it goes. Yeah, Drake is a bad pick on this map. That I do not contest. If you were to play this map, I would highly recommend picking Max. But I was expecting to fight Max, and I didn't want to do a Max mirror, so I tried to go Drake with a Battle of Attrition that way. And it kind of got flipped on. My plan got flipped on its head by the Andy pick. You were gonna pick Andy into Max? You are gutsy. Andy gets destroyed by Max. Andy into Max is like 1,000,000 times worse than Drake into Andy. The Penguins is back. But well played, well played. Okay. Next one is Darth Noob 7 against Max. I evaded a Max mirror. It looks like these two are playing a Max mirror. That's fine. Put in by Darth Noob, so Darth Noob can be Cold Ice. There's yellow copper. Right there. SRT. I can say SRT. You're rooting for whichever Max builds the most indirects. You got Max Mirror with Darth Noob as well. Max mirrors can be interesting. I personally kind of like some recons in it. But I also just like recons. Doesn't have to be all tank copter. Mix it up. We'll see how this plays out, though. Looks like Darth Noob has decided to make this the side they're ahead on. Basically, any map like this where either base can send an infantry to the neutral base at the same number of turns, you can decide which one you want to be ahead on, because, of course, with how the first turn advantage balance works, you're ahead on one front and you're behind on the other. So in this case, player 1 gets to choose which front they want to be ahead a turn on. And Darth Noob has chosen to be ahead a turn on this front, because this is the infantry that's going to be kept in this base rather than infantry hopping in a black boat and dropped off. I personally like to be ahead on this base rather than this base, because I feel like being ahead over here doesn't get me much. Your ventures into this side are very easily thwarted by your opponents with vehicles. It's not a huge importance to rush the middle, where the harassment you can do from this base is a big deal. That's my take on it. But there's a big trend of people doing this city skip. Or actually, no, there's a huge trend of people doing a base skip, where they would capture the city before taking this base, which might be what Darth Noob is doing. No, neither player is going. Oh no, yeah, Darth Noob. What am I doing? Darth Noob is doing the base skip, capturing the city earlier. Max generally wins against everyone. Well, you play very when you do the when you use the infantry from over here to go for this base, you play very passively on this side. It's like aggression and then very restrained. Base skipping heresy. They do this. They do this to get a faster tank. So in this case, you can see Darth Noob's money is going to line up for tank infantry next turn because of completing this capture rather than going for the base. It does cost an infantry, but it does cost an infantry unit count. It makes your center presence weaker infantry-wise, but it doesn't hurt too much economically because the number of captures that come from infantry built from this base is very small. That's why people do it. They want the faster tank. The tank's forced over here because of this recon buy by Poland. Usually player 2 recon's a little weaker than player 1 recon, but it can still do recon stuff. Maybe Max should be tier 1 here. Yeah, there's been some experiments on this map to change the tiering. Is it normal to do the base skip into the tank in the middle base? As player 1, it's definitely stronger than as player 2. As player 1, you can see you base skip and then you get a tank the immediate next turn. When you do the base skip as player 2, it gives you double tank in like 4 turns. Or maybe it's just 3 turns. So it's a really delayed for player 2, the advantage you get from that. For player 1, you get kind of a tank right away. As for whether or not it's normal, it's become meta. It's done quite a bit. Very interestingly, Darth Noob decides to go for a recon here. So tank into recon rather than recon into tank, which I think is the more standard thing to do. But recon in the tank would feel kind of silly when you go for the base skip, because you don't need to do the base skip to do recon in the tank. And here you can see the dynamic between tank and recon. So recon forces tank, and then tank can ward off the recon. But if this recon was a tank itself, the same situation occurs where it would force a tank, and then the tank would ward off the other tank from interrupting captures. So kind of have a similar dynamic occur with recon versus tank, but the recon player has committed fewer resources. I prefer the old school version for recon play. In the old school version, there was like a missile platform right here. So you would build a recon and it would land here, and it could immediately threaten the middle, or maybe it was here, I don't remember. But it was a different layout, and the recon could hit both, or threaten both sides right away. Even stronger recon play on this map than it is now. Yeah, Shoal something was the original one. It looks very, very similar. In fact, I can bring it up. See. Yeah, Seashell Ocarina. Can do a little. Maybe. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, it's just the base had different routing. This was the original map. Very, very similar. They replaced, they moved this harbor. They got rid of the mountains over here, and they made this tile a lake or an ocean tile instead of a shoal. They put a mountain here. They removed an entire city that this used to capture. Oh no, they just moved it. They moved it back here. And then they split up the cities on the side here. And they removed the lab. They made the lab into a forest. But very similar. But yeah, changing this tile into an ocean tile instead of a shoal tile does weaken the recon opener a little bit, because you can't make it here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Can't quite make it to that tile. But that's okay. So we have recon hits. This is what's really nice about the max recons, is that they knock infantry down to 4 or 3. Which is a big deal, because if you knock them down to 5 and then they capture again, they're threatening to complete the capture next turn. And they can still keep up that threat. But when they get knocked down to 4 or 3, it's delayed for multiple turns. It's a big deal. This recon's too slow to stop the comm tower capture from Poland. Okay, so this tank hits the recon, which just decides to retreat rather than capturing. That was probably worth it for Poland, assuming this recon gets away. Ooh. Okay. You can also do that. I think that's probably a little debatable as to how worthwhile that is. I think I would prefer try and save the recon. Maybe just bring it back over here onto the HQ and pressure the middle. This does make it so the infantry takes 3 turns to complete a capture instead of just 2. But it also means that this infantry can't kill this recon while still setting up the capture on this city. Or it's the capture threat. Or I guess the tank can even just go back and kill it if it wants. So a little debatable on that attack. It's not awful. Well, Poland also goes for this attack. No unit count preservation here. That'll delay this capture by a turn. Getting knocked down to 8 is a lot worse than getting knocked down to 7, because while this will take 3 turns to complete this capture, after it completes the capture, it will heal up to 10, and then all the other captures will just take 2 turns, where if it's at 7, it takes 3 turns, but it only heals up to 9, which still takes 3 turns to capture it. Okay, so infantry decides not to attack from the city. It's fine, it's going to attack from the road and threaten to take the comm tower. Just let this guy heal up. Okay. This is where you'd really like to have that recon right here, healing up, because it's very easy to support it with tanks. And it's very nice to fight with infantry against infantry. I saw that attack coming. I'm surprised. Oh, okay. I was like, I'm surprised they didn't attack from the forest, but that's because this tank would be able to hit it. I see. So it has to attack from the road. Bringing these tanks on in. Technically, there's a first strike, but it's covered by another tank, so it's not so great. Whoa. Poland. Huge retreat. Okay. Unexpected. Well, we'll see what Darth Noob does about that. Definitely have some attack over here, I believe. Yeah, definitely take advantage of the fighting in the middle. Drops off here rather than here, which would lead me to believe this guy's kind of been assigned to this front rather than to win in the middle. Yeah, okay, so it goes for the attack over here. It makes sense to me. I'm not quite sure why these units just kind of stuck around there. The tank falling back like that. What? Okay. Didn't want... I thought this was going to stay here and heal up to 10. I guess was a little worried about it getting cleared and then this infantry stepping onto the city. Okay. Tank doesn't reach. But this is really good for Darth Noob over here because now you can see the tanks are fighting, so there's nothing to deal with this recon. And the recon can now harass these. You agree with the retreat? Okay. Gets the kill. It's a nice pick off. Makes Darth Noob regret continuing the capture rather than just killing this infantry. So the reason why I wouldn't want to go for the retreat over here. It's because that just makes you have less options and limits the amount of space you control by retreating with the tank. Like, you could still cover those units from, like, over here while still threatening other things. Unless you were playing to front switch, which would be quite audacious as the attack comes in like that. Alright, both players have gone with fast copters. Darth Noob has first copter, which is nice. Okay, tank decides to retreat to heal up. Here would be a much... You don't have to. You could definitely just keep this recon alive, but hitting this infantry would be fine. You could also just retreat the recon to a point where it's covered by tanks, like sitting on this comm tower, but also threatening the captures that this infantry could go for. 4, 5, 6, 7. When milit's on the comm tower, it'd have to like sit or something. But because this is the only infantry currently this far forward on this front and actually able to go for these captures, injuring it is a big deal. So I'd be more willing to sacrifice a recon to hurt this guy, for instance, rather than what happened over here, where there's like multiple infantry around, so hurting just one isn't going to slow a lot down. You can also just retreat with it. I'm fine with that. It's always going to be useful in these kind of tank infantry fights. Okay. I would prefer if this recon is at least covering this capture. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I guess if Darth Noob gets a normal power, then it's covering the capture. Whoa. Darth Noob could definitely get a normal power. That is... I do not like that attack. For a few reasons. Looks like they're both entering it to build up a lot of unit count and a lot of copters. Makes sense as max. That was an interesting attack. I do not recommend... I understand the idea is this to delay this capture by another turn, but a whole 5 health infantry? It's a big ask. So this is really dangerous for Poland. Because these tanks can hit these tanks without having to use the power. Or, like, these tanks can fight this tank. Okay, it would probably be these tanks take out these tanks, and then now this front is able to act with power. Then the recon can interrupt that capture. It's kind of a scary turn here. Oh, the brutal battles of the 1 health tanks. Oh my gosh, look at them go. Well, here I would probably have... Yeah, I would just hit this guy. And then if I'm not using the power, I would use the recon to kill this. I'm not sure if... Darth Noob is using the power or not. Okay. Must not be. Had the option for first power there. First power doesn't look too bad over here. You are going to be able to clean up a lot of infantry. Engaging on the tanks is definitely questionable, though. So I can understand just holding. Well, I don't like that. Oh my gosh. Wow. Okay, so Darth Noob. This is way more patient than I would ever be, but just lets this city go and lets the comm tower go. Okay, recon goes down. But you're kind of fine with that because now this tank sits next to a city. Whoa, my gosh. No fear. This must have a copter coming to cover this copter. That's the only way you would do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, I think that Darth Noob has some more really nice normal power plays next turn. Being down 2 comm towers kind of sucks, though. I'm surprised Darth Noob just let those go. Okay, so we do see the power this turn. I assume to just wreck house over here. And this infantry. Not having a comm tower here is so bad, yeah. So basically, if that was a 30%-ish roll for Darth Noob to get this kill with just 10% extra firepower. Having a comm tower would give 20% with the power for the infantry, which would make this guaranteed kill, and then this tank would hit from the city. It's not a huge deal because I think a 6 health tank would die in one shot anyway to either tank or copter. So it does mean this infantry lives. But over here, definitely looks like Darth Noob is winning the fight pretty handily. Over here, yes, I mean Poland's winning the area very handily, and Darth Noob is kind of delaying the fight by falling back. The anti-air that got built over here to deal with the copter that had been threatening to swing over just kind of gets hosed a bit as this copter just goes over to the other side. Okay. This tank can't really reach anything. That super matters. This anti-air actually covers this copter from this copter with super killing this guy. All right, we do have super from Poland. Goes in for the copter kill. That's a very interesting choice. The downside to this is one, this tank gets to live. But also, this copter killing this copter, like, there's another copter chaining into this. So it's going to end up Darth Noob up a copter. Yeah, that infantry just killed off. The city has been successfully denied. And Darth Noob isn't going to have enough power left over to have another normal power. So this is a pretty good attack. A little bit debatable over here, I guess. It's probably a fine kill because this copter, I mean, it has to hit the other copter. Huge though. Darth Noob actually got this comm tower now. Starts going for this capture. Had to use the full health tank to kill this guy. don't think that's true. I think it probably would have been better to go tank and then infantry strike. Probably double infantry strike to kill this guy and then have this tank hit this other tank from the city rather than just leave this full health tank up. And then you can just get the capture on the next turn. Because this is not going to happen. There's even just like an infantry in range to get it. Okay. Over here. Got a kind of wall showing up. Neither player has invested in a black boat or a transport copter to go for harbor tower right now. Whoa. Ham against this copter. Kind of works out. There hasn't been any reinforcements besides this anti-air, which is way over here now, on this front for Darth Noob. So Poland might be able to sneak something out here. Apparently Poland's only been up 1k out of all this, so it's not I wouldn't say it's been really worth it for the amount of stuff that's kind of been lost. But having 2 comm towers for so long was definitely worth it. The kind of huge sacrifices that took. Does the second comm tower... Well, it does for the infantry. It does... Like now, suddenly infantry have 20% firepower. It also lets recons with the super one-shot infantry. And it also does some one-shots with powers for tanks against tanks on terrain. If I remember correctly. Oh, that tank, nicely done. And as well as just more damage. Live matches are draining, they are draining. That is very true. Still just building stuff up here. Anti-air here. This exact same situation has occurred again. There's going to need to be some pretty serious protection for that. Anti-air gets tagged. Okay, so this tank... I think this tank is just going to die? Maybe not. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think you can kill it and wall off with weakened units. Wow, Poland's just charging forward. A wall. So when you have wall against wall like this, you really don't usually want to be the one to put your wall in range of the other wall. Especially when there's like a 4 health infantry here. That tank just dies. This copter can... This copter. Yeah, there's a nice block with the 2 health tank. I mean, this looks really good. Over here, let's see if Darth Noob does anything fancy. He just moves the wall. Moves the walls even closer together. That is... Or no, just moves... I see moves where the wall is. It's just falling back. A Poland game, yeah. Okay, I'm assuming the wall is gonna just inch forward and start taking this city. Another delay over here that cost a whole unit. Okay. Copter comes in, kills Copter. I think it's going to end up dying to Copter Anti-Air. Alright. It's very interesting how the left side here has been very, very brawly with lots and lots of fighting. And then sacrifices being made. And then on the right side, it's just like creep forward, creep back, creep forward, creep back. Here comes a max force. Definitely could have gotten the super, so didn't need it. Up. Wow. Heals up the tank over there. Heals off this one. A little awkward having the anti-air there because it can get picked off, but yeah, I guess. So their copter can come into cover. Well, it's pretty rare to have just a single tank go forward and get a kill and then start doing stuff elsewhere, but what is this move order? I'm assuming this was all move planner, which is why. So weird. Why did this infantry die? Wait, what? So it's definitely, this is definitely an interruptible cap. If Darth Noob really wanted to. What? Well, I really don't like that. I don't know why this tank is just kind of... it's just left high and dry. I'm going to assume that was a misclick. That was probably like, how much damage does a tank do to an infantry? Oops, I accidentally clicked and now my tank has attacked. Would it be even worth trying to save this property? I don't think it's probably worth trying to save this property. It looks way too defended. But this attack makes me think that Darth Noob was trying to save it. They definitely could have saved it if they wanted. You felt like you had numbers advantage on tanks plus copters, so you really wanted to whittle down the infantry. Gotcha. You should have 5 tanks. Copter, anti-air kills copter though. Well, your copter's really safe. Kills anti-air, but there's a copter still covering. Okay. Hey, Darth Noob's finally gonna get this city. Could only deny it for so long. Breaking through over here. That copter is probably not safe because Darth Noob has quite a bit of power still left over. And with like strikes like this over here, I imagine Darth Noob's going to be able to get to it. If you're wondering why this isn't like completely full, because Darth Noob is almost completely at super, it's because whenever you use a power, the cost of all future powers go up by 20%. So you do retain all of your extra generated power points, but since the cost goes up, it looks like you lose. There we go. The max force. That is an interesting hit. I guess it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's an interesting hit because it takes up one of the spots next to this tank, so it's not going to be a double tap from like these 2 spots, for instance. Here and here. This is looking pretty good. This anti-air is not going to be able to reach this copter, which makes me really sad. I think Poland just didn't quite recognize how much power charge Darth Noob had left over. Okay. Bomb power does get denied over here. It would be amazing if that went through. Copter will go down to this anti-air. Join caps. Poland's own max force. Okay. Get the hit on this tank. So this is definitely what I would say is a little bit on the greedy or overly optimistic or greedy side, because this copter here can hit a tank, and there's 3 injured tanks, but there's still a full health tank to just like wipe out this anti-air. The entire front. But I think I understand what's going on with Poland. Is as we've seen that Darth Noob is very fine and adept at letting properties go that can't be held anymore. Poland seems to be the opposite. It's a very, very hard time at letting properties go, and you kind of need to be able to do both. I'm not sure why this tank wasn't used. I guess it has plans over here, that must be why. Does Darth Noob go for the roll? Yeah. I don't know if it's a roll or not. I assume it's a roll. I assume hit anti-air, bring copter over to support. Go back, you get to heal up the tank, finish off the infantry, the tank, finish it off. Yeah, I mean, over here, that lived? Oh, Poland has power active. I was like, what? Whoa. That's surprising to me. Decides to hit the tank rather than the anti-air. I'm gonna guess that there's gonna be something that's gonna like stand here, stop this infantry from just dying. Guess maybe this guy? No. Well, I guess Darth Noob was just fine with letting the anti-air get the shot on the copter. Whoa. Okay, sure. And then, yeah, kills off the copter. I don't think the copter needed to die, but that's okay. Over here, this kind of dive, it's not super worth it in comparison to like just going over here and healing up, although it might be too dangerous to heal up. Because you're like trading 3 health on an anti-air for 4 health on a copter. While also going down in unit count. While if you like heal up to 5 with the max power, you just basically one-shot a copter. There's a big difference. Those two kind of scenarios. There's also the problem with if you like move forward like this, you're giving units that didn't have a target before, they now have a target. Okay. Wow, this infantry almost did it. The capture's down to 2, but the 3 health tank knocks him down to 1. How cruel. That infantry has been capturing that property forever. The tank leaves the anti-air at like 5. Gotcha. Well, you didn't have to hit the anti-air. You also could have just blocked this tile with like anything to stop the anti-air from reaching the copter. Okay. Here we're gonna see how you can already see with how Darth News been using the repairs to kind of get these injured tanks healed up a tiny bit to do just enough damage. But it's very powerful to have the extra units whenever the battle starts to slow down, to just have them healing up. Because it's money that you're spending on that front rather than like way over here. It's being invested right here where it matters most. And over here, we're looking pretty good, although this copter is going to get away unscathed. Okay. So Poland's really still ahead a tiny bit in income, but really hurting in this unit count. Especially when it comes to I think that's mainly just come down to some of these very aggressive attacks. Wow. So this anti-air did not have a job before. Now it gets to kill a copter. Almost killed this copter and would have been a copter for copter trade. What? But when you're down in unit count, you don't usually want to trade 1 for 1 like that. This capture doesn't go through. The tank had no mercy. And max force, assuming anything over here, maybe? Just wants to get shots per tank over here. Okay. Yeah. Ooh, the black boat getting the heals in here. Very nice. Kills off this tank. Almost all the infantry are dead on this front. So Poland's going to be able to have some very nice tank hits here. But gonna have a hard time actually taking anything else. Although most of the takeable properties over here, Poland has already gotten. So I would say overall, this is ending very, on the right side, it's kind of ending in Poland's favor. But definitely the inverse is true on the left side. In the middle is just a death zone. Lots of units got built, sent to this tile, and then died. But they always, I don't know, they got built, they went over here, they killed off a unit, and then they got picked off. So it's not the worst thing. I think Poland had some pretty good aggressive moves. The number one thing I would say for that match is to be okay letting some things go rather than sacrificing multiple units to delay. And then Darth Noob, I think, really patient play, maybe too patient at times. Letting the comm tower go is very, very dangerous. I think played the middle really well. I'm still a little iffy on how all the engagements went over here, but it worked out. A very good game though, and we also got to see kind of the difference in recon usage, where Poland's recon kind of delayed the economy and it sacrificed itself to delay a little more economy, and Darth Noob's kind of like went in, got a hit, came back, went in, got a hit, came back, generating more value over time rather than a burst of it. We have BestMike versus Tordread. Tordread's playing the Penguins. Tordread's converted. My bro. Oh, I have an apple. Sorry about that. Not over yet. Oh, I do need to put some chickens to bed, so I will be right back. We will get into BestMike versus Tordread. Alrighty, I'm back. Whenever you hear bird noises, it's actually my translator malfunctioning. Exactly. Best Mike recurring character on the stream, yeah. Such a good attacker. It's true, it's true. Okay. This is... oh my gosh. The Hills Have Eyes, I think? This is made by Comp Bio. Definitely tribute to Caustic Finale with these unattainable missiles. We have a Jake Mirror. Which is pretty interesting. We'll see if... I've noticed that Tordread with Jake has been using the normal power pretty often, rather than relying on the super. It'll be interesting to see if that's going to be something that's recurring in this game. Tordread did the very fast recon opener on the side here to disrupt the captures. The lander. No one's doing... Oh, Tordread's somewhat doing a strategy I was doing with rushing the middle a bit. But no one's sending the lander on a mission up to try and get to this airport, and no one's sending a lander through. So they're going pretty standard with their the lander movements. Tordread's just focusing the center before going to the peninsula. I think that's probably better. The getting a strong foothold in the center tile cities is very important because they're kind of tough to flip as the game kind of enters into the mid stages. While the peninsula, you'll usually lose it fairly quickly anyway. So investment-wise, the center's stronger. I do like the recon from BestMike here to harass the center for a similar reason. Plus, it's kind of difficult to send a tank center right away. It's fairly easy to send a tank to Peninsula because you do have the lander you can use. Oh. So I think this is a mistake from Tordread. If you're gonna rush the center, you want to rush like the dangerous contested property and take it. But it could be that Tordread... No, Tordread's building a tank. Okay, well, if Tordread wasn't building a tank, then this would make more sense to me, because you wouldn't have any backup to hold the city. But if you're building a tank and setting it to the middle, I think. Personally. You can also go for this city with this infantry. You can complete this capture and then just leave the peninsula. We'll see how it all plays out here. Taking some captures. Well, that's it. That's a tricky play I've never thought of. So BestMike here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. So BestMike doesn't load anything into this lander. Then goes over here and kind of fakes dropping it off in this forest to make Tordread think like a tank probably dropped off here. I like it. The bluffs are real. I have not done that. I like it. Tordread does the same thing, except brings actual infantry over. Now, in Fog, the log on your opponent's turn shows nothing. You'll note when you like open up Fog games, it's like viewing of actions is disabled. There's like a little pop-up that happens with that. That's talking about the log. So if you're in a Fog game, you can see the log replay of all of your actions and everything you do on your turn, but on your opponent's turn, it's just nothing. And you also can't see when a unit gets dropped off into a forest, but you can see when units get loaded into. You should reach out to BestMike and let him know he's famous. It does show up a lot. I think this one was submitted by BestMike as BestMike's first actual submission. So that would imply that BestMike is a viewer. Okay. Oh. And now the lander's going on a secret mission. I like it. Tordread has definitely caught wind of the secret mission, though. Lander, go! Wow. Doesn't try and interrupt this comm tower at all. That's surprising to me. Okay, yeah. Just tank out of this base. And infantry out of everything else, pretty much. Seems fine to me. I like it. BestMike, living the dream. Basically, if this lander manages to make it through this harbor, like to this tile, it can then pick up this infantry and then take this airport. That's the dream. And then if you dream, even more, you could go back through this harbor, through here, through this harbor, pick up this infantry, drop off to take this airport. Dream, the biggest dream of all. It does require that your opponent doesn't block the path through this shoal canal or the harbor. But over here, it's somewhat plausible that you can be able to break through. Because if your opponent's just like doing infantry spam and they're like just walking over this mountain, for instance. However, Tordread will not allow this. So this is a really nice move from Tordread. So this infantry is out of sight range of this lander, so the lander will like move forward and get trapped. But this infantry is also threatening to take this property from over the mountain, so it's a really nice positioning there. It drops off on mech. I'm definitely torn on whether or not to invest like mechs in defending over here, because it's so easy for your opponent to overwhelm you with like this huge wave of infantry and vehicles. I haven't played this map in a while, but I almost feel like it's not worth investing anything. Maybe you could do some artillery stuff using this forest. I don't know. Lander gets trapped. BestMike with a huge wave of infantry coming over. Recons. Denying the capture. They're covered by tank, and there is this copter, which is one tile out of recon range here. I like it. Get a vision of the recon, then hit it with tank. Tank is covered by this other tank and a copter. It's very strong. Looks like Tordread doesn't buy that tank is well supported. Might end up regretting those attacks there. Although, it's really going to just be a tank for a tank because... Well, no, it's not. It's almost just a tank for a tank. Because I was thinking the tank would hit from the plains. But no, if the tank hits from the city here, then this copter just gets to hit this tank from the ocean. Very bold to stand and fight here. Just trying to injure the infantry to slow down the captures, I imagine. But there's enough infantry here that those little kind of attacks aren't going to mean a whole bunch. I'm surprised that this is the one that's used to kill off this 2 health infantry rather than this one, because this 7 health guy can step on this comm tower and hit this guy. But I guess he just wants to keep all of these guys very close together, which I totally understand. Yeah. Recon finishes off of that capturing infantry. And I imagine tank hits, copter hits. Recon went over here. Okay, that makes sense. This poor lander, one step at a time, gets trapped. It could instead like move back here to protect this attacking infantry, which I think would probably be better. At this point, it definitely seems like Tordread's on to the dream and isn't gonna let it happen. You just realize that Grit could put a rocket here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's true. That's a pretty decent value rocket. The dream is over. It's okay. One day I will get a replay of someone accomplishing the dream. I believe in the dream personally. I almost had it. In one of my games. But if you can get your lander through this, pick this guy up and take this airport in a league game, I would love to see that game. Well, this tank isn't supported by another tank, I just realized. That's an aggressive 3. Alright, we could... Oh no! The lander's trapped. We're pinned in there. You can also just send your lander, if you don't want to go for like this dream, to use it effectively, and you don't really want to support the peninsula, you can always go through here and just pick up an infantry and drop it off on this airport so that you don't have to buy a transport copter. And then if you want a much easier to obtain dream, you can come down here come down this way and pick up this infantry. You can either try and do a really aggressive drop over here if they don't see it coming. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Drop off infantry on the airport. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If they didn't build a copter, they don't have a way of stopping you on just buys, because this forest stops the vehicles from reaching it one turn. Very cheeky. And they're stuck in jail. Okay. Brings the recon over here to help with this attack on the peninsula. That guy's definitely... Ooh, it lived. It's definitely going down. Probably use the infantry to interrupt this. I guess the recon could do it too. Yeah, I'm totally fine with using the copter over here. I probably would prefer to hit from the planes at least. Even hit from this plane. Because you do get a attack. I tried to get the kill. And we get the delay. Okay. Join. Oh. Lander's actually free to continue on his journey. Well, I like the retreat to repair with these tanks, with the anti-air coverage. Very nice. It does kind of give up a lot of space in the middle, and probably shouldn't have continued this capture if you're going to do that. That's a tough call to make. Ooh, that's a daring tank. It's not even covered by the mech. Gonna work out. Triple tank squad coming up. Pretty intimidating. Yeah. Over here, Tordread's running out of infantry really quickly. That's just gonna happen at the peninsula. Same thing's happening to BestMike. Oh! Well, if this doesn't get blocked next turn, then the dream will happen. Ooh, Tordread can't see the lander. Okay, so something about Tordread to keep in mind is that he plays a lot of games, like a lot of games. He's really good, but because he's playing so many games, he doesn't watch the replay very often. So if you can, like, get your lander in an incredibly lucky spot like that, it's possible that he can, like, overlook it. Well, in this case, he moved that right away. So, oh my gosh, no way. But there's nothing blocking in the way. Does the dream happen? Well, we'll find out. Find out shortly. This tank split up from its friends. Entered into massive tank production here. It's a good thing Tordread's building these copters, because one of them's going to probably get... Well, I guess this artillery can also lock down the airport. Wow. The guts. The guts to not move this tank. It was sitting next to the opposing city. I mean, I make lots of mistakes like that too. I don't mean to harp on Tordread there, but man, that's gutsy. Supplements for strategy games. They drain a lot to play. They do. It's true. Dude, a black boat buy would have been amazing. BestMike hasn't gone far. But I think BestMike thinks there's something there. There isn't. BestMike does not dive in on all this fun stuff, which I believe. Except, very sad. The tree doesn't do damage. The lander broke through. It's like both safe in the reef because it's hidden, but not safe because it's next to an artillery. But we'll see if Tordread watched the replay. Tordread's pretty much gotten the peninsula. Still barely holding out over here, although not for long. Oh no, another tank's being dropped off. So we'll see if basically if BestMike sends like a tank and another tank and a copter down here, it's just that peninsula. Oh, Tordread not watching the replay. Oh my gosh, and the recon vision misses this tile, so if Tordread doesn't watch the replay next turn, also won't see that this lander has moved to pick up this infantry. Oh my gosh, BestMike, you're gonna do it, aren't you? The dream. Okay. Well, there's like no reason to put the tank here. The tank still protects these infantry back here where it's nice and safe on a city with the healing and extra defense stars. It's kind of dangerous to put it right next to injured infantry like this. Covered though, right? Put it on that city if you want. I guess you could. I'm not sure about diving in here, but I do like that after this recon kind of saw tanks healing up. BestMike decided not to dive in on all that. Very good use of vision. As you can, in this kind of situation, you can build a black boat to stop your harbor from being captured. It's like okay to do. Not losing a property does effectively net 2k per turn. So after 4 turns, the black boat kind of pays for itself. But you are kind of betting on your opponent not having like any copters or artillery around to break it. How can you even play Fog without watching the replay? Well, if you play with kind of like a set game plan already in mind, and then you just kind of tactically approach every engagement, you can do that. I'm not very good at it. You can do it. That's a cheeky block. I'm not sure what it's blocking. I guess it's blocking this copter from attacking. Huh. So this is where I don't find it very worthwhile to defend the peninsula, because you're just gonna, like, you build tanks and you're gonna hit some infantry and then lose your tanks and then lose all the properties. But the longer that Tordread can kind of hold this double comm tower, then the more opportunities Tordread will have to actually use it. Oh, did Tordread not... Wait. Ah, Tordread moved the recon, spotted the lander, and then did not move the artillery. Tordread, it is official. Tordread is anti-dream, because this artillery is stopping any captures of this airport. The tank survived. Why did I still give the free artillery kill? Well, there was a chance that the tank would not die to the artillery shot, in which case it would still serve as a blocker, and then the artillery would also serve as a blocker. That's why. Yeah, but the 1 HP tank might not want to hit me. Maybe it wants to go and heal. I mean, I really want that comm tower. Okay, killing off a recon is very valuable. Straight into the medium tank. Oh, Tordread with the block rock. Oh, it's gonna shoot the lander. Just dive on in here. Let's get this nice spot on this anti-air. Very valuable. Wow. I'm not a huge fan of everything over here, though. There's very good music for Tordread's block rock attack here. Kills off this infantry. Does shoot the lander, but doesn't send a copter over. Well, so far this lander is serving a great job. It's stopping entire artillery from ever moving. Mr. Greensuit is different. Besides, Mr. Greensuit, I gave you some free kills. You can't make comments like that. You've already been given free stuff. Okay. Yeah. Peninsula in danger. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, well, the medium tank is definitely going to the city and killing this recon. Okay. Lots of tank engagements over here. Tordread does still have some more units backing this up, but man, is that a lot of attacks. Anti-airs are going to get some nice shots. Very unfortunate for BestMike's anti-air to get taken down to 1 like that. Oh, okay. For a second there, I thought this copter was going to go for it. All copters. That's really, really bad. Because the copters, in this case, were serving as the anti-airs. And no anti-air got built last turn. So, these, well, 3 copters, I guess, are going to be enough to kind of just win this fight now for Tordread. And Tordread does have a nice income lead, yeah. Although it's about to go away pretty quickly as this peninsula falls. Not quite sure why this tank hit from the shoal here. They must have known about the copter. They probably knew about the copter routing and didn't want to leave itself alone. That's my guess. So right now, BestMike's building copters to try and fight these copters. Definitely do not sack your anti-air into a copter like that. You can either finish off this 1 health copter or just go heal it, because healing anti-airs is very valuable. And then you can, like, tank kills this infantry, medium tank comes over here, kills this anti-air. If you want to try and put your Tordread in a similar situation with all the anti-airs dead. Right now, of course, the copters are going to just get away with murder. Very, very nicely done for Tordread here. Also rescued this tank, which I didn't notice last turn. So BestMike doesn't know it, but at this point, BestMike could attempt to take the airport because of Tordread's vision. But Tordread could always build a recon, assuming he's watching the replays. Okay, now we have an anti-air. Yeah, the medium tank really should have gone in last turn. It's gonna be pretty tough going in this turn. There are 3 copters to hit it. Oh, although, oh no, there's 4 copters to hit it. Oh my gosh. Although if it only gets tagged by 1 copter, it's fine. I can tag by 2. And the 4 hurts a lot. Could have been a lot worse though. But it's looking like a very, very strong middle push for Tordread here. Up a ton in unit count. Oh, the lander moved over here. Not quite sure why. Oh, I see it moves because it doesn't want to get shot again during the Jake power. Okay. Tagging the only anti-air, that's very good. As BestMike himself experienced. Whether it's worth sending this anti-air down there, though, is a little questionable. 5, 6. Yeah, I guess it's tough to kill it. Well, maybe. Yeah. Maybe that's what you gotta do. There's another anti-air that's been built, though, so. That is good. I like using the 8 health copter or the 3 health copter to interrupt the cap. I think that's a good unit to do it. I'm not a huge fan of moving this infantry here. I think that's just opening it up to getting smacked. The block rock from Tordread here. Oh. The lander moves next to the artillery. Yeah. Targeting down the anti-airs. This is where you would have preferred to have the infantry here or here. Again with the, someone sacrificing a 1 health anti-air to do a single damage to a copter. That's not worth it. It's actually pretty hard for infantry to get those luck rolls on anti-airs. So, well done there. Oh, Tordread's bringing infantry over. Funnily enough, if this lander just sits here, though, it's actually going to stop this lander's access to this airport. Okay, so BestMike took a lot of damage last turn. The anti-air targeting of Tordread has been really good this game, and it's definitely taking its toll on BestMike. Yeah, very, very well played from both players. BestMike was so close to accomplishing the dream. It was so close. GG. Yeah, what broke BestMike there was not having only the 1 anti-air. It got tagged and then just getting swarmed by copters to stabilize after that. Dream lives on. Right? It's back in position. So close. Have Odd Eye versus Faelurian on Frivolous Endeavors version 3.1. This is sent in by I'm not sure who this is sent in. It must be sent in by somebody who has a different name on Discord. Which people do. I swear people do that just to confuse me. So you sent this, okay? Will be cold ice. This is a map. This is indeed a map. I have not seen this map before. We have artillery staring at two opposing bases. I imagine Javier is banned. We have a missile staring at an airport. Again, I imagine Javier is banned. If you don't know, Javier with Comm Tower can just build a copter in your missile range. You can shoot it, it lives, it heals up, and then it can just slowly kill your missile. Just fun facts. Yeah, so both players are starting with Comm Towers. They start with landers. I assume this isn't Global League. So the lander, you can see here the landers have different starting locations, and this is meant as part of an FTA balance to make you ahead on one front. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Drake can make it a little bit closer to these bases. Actually, it matters because this infantry can move here, the lander can move here, and then the infantry can get picked up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Drop off here. Oh my gosh! The Drake transport privilege, though. Look at how scary that is. What if you're not wanting to build? Oh, you don't have vision of this prop. Oh no, you have vision because this isn't fog. You can force your opponent to start building from this base very quickly as Drake. The Comm Towers got switched back to neutral just because of Javier. So yeah, Drake can move here, infantry here. The next turn, drop the infantry off right here, threatening to take your base. It's pretty scary. The base over here is also in a super awkward spot. What? Oh, I see. So well, okay, so what I was thinking was put lander here with like infantry. What Faelurian is thinking as I go here, I pick up my missile before the mech kills it. Does it not reach? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It reaches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. One. Am I just not counting right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That reaches. Oh yeah, the replay viewer doesn't show the +1. The replay viewer doesn't like move boosts and range boosts and stuff. You just have to imagine an extra tile for Drake and Sammy. Yeah, Javier just destroy this map. Black boats are 7 and landers are 6. That's correct. But it's Drake, so lander's 7. Drake naval units get +1. Next step to here and hit this pipe scene. Alright. So in the future for Odd Eye, you're going to want to move your mech to here rather than to here, because this tile can be blocked by this lander. But and that matters because that means you can't build a copter. So if you moved here with the mech, you could build a copter, because if they want to shoot the copter, they have to stay here with the missile. Otherwise, what's going to happen is they can move the lander here. And then... Or actually, no. Maybe I'm messing that up. Yeah. They can move the lander here, and it stops the mech from being able to hit the missile. And if the mech was here, if they don't want it to get hit, they can just load the missile in right away, and then your copter is free to live. Otherwise, they can just let the missile sit here while the lander blocks the way of the mech, and then next turn the missile jumps into the lander, gets dropped off down here, and is still covering the airport, so they never lose the coverage. Where if you have the mech threat, they do lose the coverage, or they get hit by a mech. Well, the lander's not going to sit on the port. The lander's going to sit right here. Oh, I see. The Mr. Greensuit was saying that you could then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 sit on the port. No, that doesn't work, because the mech's right here. It can just step over here and hit you if you want. Like, I wouldn't be worried about the lander sitting on the port and blocking it, because if you kill off the missile and you can just build from your airport, you just build a bomber, kill the lander, as well as the artilleries. So that's what happens here. Oh, well, over here, Faelurian goes for the bottom mech strat. This is such an awkward base. I imagine you want to get... Well, you have choices. You can get an artillery kind of early. Probably what you'd want to do is mech, artillery, then you get an infantry. Then you can have the mech step to here, hit this once, and then it can start going for this capture just as fast as the infantry buy does. But because it hit that once, you can use an artillery to fire 2 shots to kill it. You also get like a mega tank, and a mega tank will just one-shot this in one turn. All that stuff. Okay. This mech is just gonna let it, or this missile's just gonna let itself get hit here. Ooh, this is also a pretty big problem for Rachel. Because of not having that 7 move. If the missile gets put into the lander, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, it can't get dropped off and still cover this airport. What we're seeing here. Yep. That's pretty scary. And it's more than just losing a missile, because it's the copters can just come over here and kill these artillery. And now the artillery aren't shooting at the bases anymore. Which is a big deal. Didn't have to build this copter. Could have waited one more turn to just shoot this again and then build a copter. But having a 5 health copter is fine, I guess. It's still going to be able to like harass up here. It's just not going to be very, very quick at killing artillery. You can also harass over here. Yeah, this anti-air gets... Also finishes off the missile. It's not bad. These are pre-owned cities. Very sneaky to go for this capture. I like it. I think that this infantry should go here to stop your opponent from doing exactly what you just did. Oh, instead of splitting the shots, double shot down here. I kind of like it. Just kill the unit entirely. Why is the mech shooting the seam and not capturing? Oh, I guess it did. Yeah, it shot it once rather than capture. Well, that's because I thought it was going to hit a missile, so I thought that capturing would. But then the missile got away because of the extra Drake movement. Yeah, so the same thing happens over here. That's I mean, I guess it takes the city Earth sooner. A little questionable right there. The unit count's going to go way down for Rachel here. I like the unopposed anti-air. Lander's probably going to be used as a blocker to save the missile. The fact that probably a pretty big mistake to not build another copter last turn. Now I don't think you can build a copter. I think a tank needs to be built over here. Builds a copter anyway. I mean, the lander blocking is good enough. Just means that this guy's gonna get shot. It's a tough call. Looks like Odd-Eye is going for the artillery to break out over here. Oh, there's another airport. There's airports in the corner here. Oh, interesting. Oh, okay. I like... That was a good move from Odd-Eye to pick up an early infantry and drop it off over here and just kind of walk over to this corner. Five, 6, 7, 8. Drop off here is Drake. Doesn't matter though, it still takes 2 years. Very cool. Definitely a good interrupt from Odd-Eye. I would say that this map definitely favors Drake over Rachel. I imagine the missiles are going to have a hard time with all of these transports. I can't repair after unloading. You can repair after unloading. Or no, you can't. Because you have to wait to unload. You can repair, or you can unload and then repair, but you can't move, repair, unload. Or you can't unload. Yeah, you can't move, repair, unload. But you can, if you don't move, unload and then repair. If that makes sense. Although I don't think repairing here would... Ooh. Odd Eye with the interception to shut down the corner. I like it. The vehicles have been doing some work here for like his anti-serious work. But now both of the copters have shown up, so now these bases are going to be producing very healthy units. This is kind of an annoying artillery to hit down against Rachel, I guess, because it's sitting on a city. A complete retreat from Drake here. You're talking about that infantry? So it hopped in one black boat. It'd be healed up to 8 there, and then it'd be healed up to 9. And then 10. Yeah, it could be. So Odd Eye's anti-air has really good investment. Ooh, I like what Odd Eye did over here too. With the first artillery goes over here to heal, and then you can double artillery. Very nice. Kinda puts Drake in a little bit of a tight spot. Although there's also pressure going on over here, which is nice. So it kind of changes this into instead of Drake being like really far ahead, being the only one with any unlocked bases over here. Now both players are going to have some unlocked bases. It only has 2 shots left too. And the main advantage is Drake has the missile covering this airport, while Rachel has this corner. They've both been keeping... Oh, this isn't high funds. I thought this was high funds. This is just... It's just a normal funds map. It's high fun instead. It's quite the map. The lander shenanigans are in full throttle mode. So the tank loaded into the lander and then it didn't drop off because it doesn't want to get first struck by a tank. But instead it's just blocking the interrupt. Very nice. Ooh. But then we have a response huge front switch. The tank gets shot by this artillery. It's down to 1 ammo. Both of these bases are officially free of their artillery overlords. Look at that nice positioning with this artillery. Stopping this tank from harassing some infantry. This thing probably just wants to get out of here too, because now copters can be built from this corner. Like that. Now it's covering all this. Very nice. Ooh. That's a pretty scary little strike force going on, targeting down this missile. It can escape. I think this shoal right here is pretty nice to stand on. This tank kind of has to come back. It doesn't like to deal with any of this stuff. So right now, Rachel's like way ahead in the corner. The very early interception force that Rachel had just like did some serious damage. That Faelurian has not been able to recover from yet. Looks like we're gonna trade a tank for an infantry and an artillery. It's not the worst trade. Although, I don't know, it depends. So this, you can either go artillery, mech, kill a tank, or it can fire individually. We'll see what Rachel does here. Ooh. I like this move. It's unfortunate to have to block with an anti-air on the shoal, but only one side can be hit, and it's being covered by a nice medium tank. So it's got some good retaliation going on there. We have a transport copter to pick up this property, and I mean there's also just like a ton of infantry to use. The missile moves over here onto this city. Okay. We have a lucky lass. Okay. So the lucky lass, I assume, would be to clear this. Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But the missile is not hittable. So that doesn't work. I was thinking it would be tank kills this, anti-air kills this, tank hits the missile. Missile's actually out of range, so the lucky lass is not for that. It could be to try and break this. That's quite the ask. I'm not sure what the lucky lass is for. I guess I'm about to find out. Might have been just to hit that tank harder? Ah. Okay. Well, I'm not a huge fan. I mean, the Lucky Lass, like, got the anti-air kill. It ended up getting this tank kill. This tank kill? Which is, pretty okay. I don't know if that's better than a missile. I guess this map is really not missile friendly. The rain is gonna hit so hard, though. How much did that do? Like 30,000? 153. Yeah, it's like 30,000, 31,000. Pretty good damage. We'll see if any kills come from it. The medium tank would have died anyway. Or the anti-air would have died anyway. But the damage is gonna stick around. This is against Rachel instead of Andy. That pipe seam must have been destroyed by this artillery. In this viewer, pipe seams are buildings. The buildings don't have death animations. They just check for their status at the end of the turn, basically. So you don't get to see the pipe seam die. But at the end of the turn, the viewer checks to see if it exists. And if it's dead, it changes it to a different model. But that's why it's all glitchy like that. Interesting place to put the transport copter. I would have thought you'd put it like here for an immediate build, but I guess it just wants to build something. We have copter wars going on. I'm not a huge fan of this copter war because covering copter is going to win it for Rachel very quickly. Like so. Although the Drake copter somehow lives at 1. Living its best life. Oh, interesting. I like it. So I was thinking that the infantry was going to step onto the mountain and hit this guy on the shoal. But instead it's just going to sit on the city and stop any shenanigans from trying to take it. Because Rachel does have a very nice econ lead here. Mainly due to, well, the corner and how much of the center Rachel has been able to claim. Whoa. That's a really weird move. So, I'm assuming the reasoning behind it is the tank's gonna die anyway, so I'll have the tank do some damage. But it actually took moves in order for the tank to die, so this kind of just killed the tank off while then giving this medium tank some free moves. It might go into the city. I mean, we'll see what it does. But that's an odd move. Easy break with mech / copter and free hit with AA that blocks in both the tank and prevents the AA from shooting copter. Bottle middle formation is weak. We're talking about this. I assume you're talking about this. Can't the lander and medium block? Oh, yeah. You can definitely do that. Lander and medium block. For the missile? I mean, the missile can, whenever the missile wants, it can sit on this shoal and have the lander sit on the harbor. Okay, city starts to fall. Yeah, medium tank gets to do something else because the tank killed itself. Okay. Faelurian is starting to take this corner now. Yeah, okay. Missile goes there. Lander keeps it nice and safe. It's kind of a block. Not really, because there's a 2 health copter that can just kill it. We have our attack down here. Okay, back up. Nice, doesn't attack. A lesson I should take to heart. And now Rachel's in trouble because of how much damage the Drake super did. We have another lucky lass. I'm gonna assume this is to hit the copter. Bottom. Gonna tag this tank over here. That's a pretty nice move. Block with the infantry and cover with the artillery. Very nice. Lander's on the run. Down to 10 fuel, but it will make it. Okay. This is definitely turning into a bit of a problem for Faelurian, is that there's not much left actually protecting this HQ and all of the properties around here. This poor artillery has 1 shot left, so it's choosing its shot wisely. I guess I would give Jess in a tier 4 match on this map. Jess would have a slight advantage in that. Copter goes in a little bit risky. This attack's a lot better if Rachel doesn't have the power active. Because Rachel has the power active, there's the extra defense. Now this is going to heal up to 5 and just kill this copter. But we'll see how this all plays out with the rocket and the base production here. Faelurian has now very much taken this this top right corner. I guess this artillery can shoot this artillery pretty nicely. But this is where the vast majority of Faelurian's units are, it looks like. There's a few over here, a few here. There's really very few against this incoming attack. The HQ. Just a mech is built. Very, very gutsy. Kind of relying on the super to save the HQ, I guess. So this is a nice little maneuver here. The anti-air could like clear the copter and all that stuff, but it's in the way of another unit clearing this anti-air. So Drake is going to get this city. And Drake is going to get, well, actually Drake might not get that city. Drake might instead decide to go for this capture and then put the artillery on this city to threaten this rocket, which I think would be the correct move. Hachi breaks every map. Whoa. Drake normal power. With the Drake normal power, it's probably not worth putting the anti-air here. Just get shot. Okay, well, I think that is a mistake. Personally, but it's not that bad. I mean, this rocket still doesn't really want to shoot this artillery. I mean, it's going to, but it would prefer to like shoot this. But this is looking like it's going to be a much better Lucky Lass. The global damage is, of course, going to be annoying and delay these captures. Just two of them. What? Oh, captures. Little anti-air. Didn't get the Lucky Lass clear there. That's okay. Takes out the artillery. There's two mechs though. The mech drop-offs are very nice for Drake, and now Drake's the one kind of threatening the HQ. Okay. Very gutsy to charge in there with the tank like that. This guy can always like move onto the missile platform and then the medium tank can go hit it. Very interesting. Some nice Lucky Lass damage over here. Good hit on that mech though. Battleship gets built. Whoa. That's a triple base skip battleship? Well, that does help protect this artillery from this medium tank. Oh, I didn't even notice that. Yeah, a black boat got built to protect the missile after the lander was used as a blocker. These mechs are now getting some very nice value. Probably, and by probably I mean it was definitely not worth diving on that artillery to get destroyed by mechs. Okay, I like it. The rocket here, the artillery here, they both stare at this base, so now this is a And it has an artillery staring at it here. This is a very, 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 very base-locked base. I don't know if there's anything Rachel can do now to stop an HQ cap from happening, other than the fact that there's still quite a while before an infantry with any degree of health can actually make it to that HQ. A super base locked. Over here. Definitely, yeah, have something to start capping that HQ. The 8's probably better than the 7. Shoot the... It's not going to shoot the medium tank? Whoa! I do not like that. That should 100%. That should kill a medium tank instead of move itself into a better position. %. It's pretty rare that you're going to find a better target than a 6 health medium tank on a shoal. It wants to stop the infantry interrupts. There's no infantry interrupts. You have an artillery, medium tanks. Okay, so this is turning into an HQ race. The lock that Drake has on Rachel is a lot stronger. Oh, don't do that. So what's happening here is that because the battleship didn't kill this medium tank, you can no longer just lock the Neo tank in with a 2 health tank and a 5 health infantry. So instead has to use a 9 health medium tank. Okay, and now this is okay, and now Rachel is gonna delete units to stop infantry power charge, but gave a 9 health medium tank as a target to hit. The power charge thing doesn't matter because this is going to cap again, and then it's going to be joined, so it's going to be at 10, while the amount that needs to be captured is just 6. So the mass damage won't change anything. This is a very, very, very locked base. Rocket, artillery, and there's a transport copter on top. This one infantry is doing some serious work, though, I gotta say. Okay. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I think Drake. Last turn, Drake could slow this down if Drake builds a battleship. Which Drake would have to do by joining like mechs together and the like. I don't actually know how many joins done here. This isn't quite enough. Because needs 3,700. I think it has to be the full health that joins on the weaker one, so you can't just have all three of these together. You can join 2 infantry for another 600. There's another 400 down here. So that's going to be just a little short. Yeah, it looks like there's not any joins that can be done, sadly. Congratulations, Advanced Warriors. Joins are so close to working, though. I think Rachel has this here. At least I don't see any way for Drake to stop this. It's a valiant effort. There's the battleship. It turned too late. Drake was eliminated. That was definitely a close game. I think definitely the play around the missile for Drake was very good, and Rachel's early interception over here, delaying this airport so long, and also making sure to like take the center while Drake is producing these copters to go over here. Very well done. Well done. I think both players did a very good game. That is quite the map. I'm surprised that isn't high funds. That gets us through the new submissions. We have Vianmeor versus CatWithYarn. Ah. Ow. It definitely had a high funds vibe. I agree. We've seen this map a few times. See how... Oh, this is an interesting... It's Jake versus Rachel. So I assume Jake is picking down a tier here. Rachel's really good on this map. Rachel's really good at baseline. Yeah, thank you for the submission. So Jake is picking tier 4 into tier 3, which is a little rough. Although Jake's a pretty good CO, can definitely get some work done in tier 3 as well. And it looks like Shadow / CatWithYarn is going with a tank opening while Vianmeor is going with a very fast artillery opening to kill off the missile right away. Get unlock that airport. CatWithYarn going with tank recon, which will be usually for more like center pressure and harassment. Now, I did have a game where I attempted to save this missile buying a bunch of recons, and it's just not possible, as far as I can tell. The poor missile is doomed. CatWithYarn being very relaxed about the approach to the missile, just going for targeting more of the economy. It looks like might be going for a double comm tower play here. Going to get this one. It's really hard to hold it, but not impossible. This is a mistake that a lot of players make. I make it sometimes too, where you put your infantry right next to the property it's going for. But like in this case, that's really bad because now the recon can come over and hit from this property your infantry on the road. That's not what's going to happen here. We might have an infantry hit it instead. Yeah, same kind of thing. And the bad thing about that is that it's not even just that your opponent gets a really good trade against you. It also makes it much more likely they're going to go for that trade because they get to hit you from very defensive terrain, so they don't have to be so worried about a counter. Okay, a slightly slower artillery. I imagine that's just going to go take out the missile. Barely out of range of this tank. The AA was not. Very nice. We're down with a little breakthrough over here. Okay, well, if you're gonna use tank infantry to kill an infantry, definitely have the tank hit first, so that you don't take damage on your infantry. The tank will take like 1 or 2% back from a fight like that, where like the infantry took over 20. Especially early on, that hurts a lot because it means you have slower captures. Oh, going for the lab cap for dominance. People don't know in Global League, the lab does not give you anything other than the vision of the lab. Poor recon. That's a gutsy shot. And the reason that's a gutsy shot is because, well, I mean, okay. It's pretty gutsy because it's revealing that there's an artillery in range of this infantry. And it's very gutsy that it's standing on the shoal. But it's very believable that it would be either instead on this city or this forest, which you would be much less inclined to attack. Whoa. But that's very gutsy. Instead of stopping the comm tower, kills this infantry that wasn't even going to finish that capture this turn. There's a 9 health. Wow. That's high economic plays. Trying to deny that econ over double comm tower though. Comm towers are crutches. I like the artillery placement though. That's very nice. Unfortunately for Vianmeor, artillery gets revealed. At this point, CatWithYarn, yeah, anti-air. Probably last turn you would have wanted it, but definitely this turn. More infantry gets trapped over here. Wow. The guts on this recon. I'm amazed that took chip damage back. I would highly recommend for your anti-airs to go and repair once they get injured, because they very quickly end up doing lethal damage to copters. So repairing them is very important. Does Vianmeor have 30? Okay, so Vianmeor spent the last 3 turns just producing infantry? Or maybe just 2 turns? Yeah, 2 turns. Maybe 3. 39,000 funds. 39,000 G. Go copter. Medium tank. Okay. Well, you could have built these earlier. I would highly recommend building them earlier. Although having infantry and baseline is really good. Can't deny that. But man, is that a lot of money. Beat down. Is this to shoot the recon? This artillery? Oh. Well, I say no because it ended up being tank plus artillery to kill recon, but the tank got left on the bridge, which has no terrain stars, while also no longer being protected by the artillery. Which is sad days for that tank. At least I assume. So for CatWithYarn here, if you check the replay, you'll be able to tell that there isn't an artillery guarding this tank. Or at least the artillery that shot you isn't guarding the tank. Because there'd be only one spot it could shoot you from. I guess it could shoot you from this place. That was a free tank hits there. Okay. Spots the anti-air. Tries to go into this forest, gets trapped. Well, there's no recon for CatWithYarn here, so it'd be hard to actually tag that. Okay, here comes a bomber now. We're gonna see some missiles land. Rachel. Pretty soon here. Bam, 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 bam. That's pretty good. Interrupts here, which is nice. Hits this medium tank. Hits this copter. This tank I hit twice. The bomber did not get tagged though. So CatWithYarn is now the one with 32k. Neo tank. So unfortunately for this anti-air, it's a little exposed. And the bomber can tag it. Although it can be risky because a lot of people will definitely double up. Basically, if you're ever attacking into an airport like this, you usually want to have two anti-air, one covering the other, just because that stops the bomber from hitting. Bomber goes for it. Whoa! Because of the power armor upgrade, this barely lives. So the number one thing to do when a bomber comes out of the darkness like that and kills your anti-air is just not panic. Just fall back, build double anti-air. See, that's what Shadow does here. Full anti-air. Very nice. This is basically exactly what you want to do. Very well done. I think the artillery is going to get some nice value over here. Shadow's been doing, CatWithYarn has been doing a really good job of having recons present to get vision. Very unfortunate. This tank gets spotted. Oh, the bomber. Bomber doesn't want to deal with that though. Scared of the anti-airs. Wise. 25k on deck, so we could see a bomber of CatWithYarn's own or a fighter. Some big ticket items. Don't like that artillery movement. Not sure what that artillery movement accomplishes. I guess it's trying to target the medium tank that's in the forest. Artillery don't usually want to do that. They want to kind of lie in wait. You can do it in fog a little bit. You're protected by the fog. Okay. That's almost potentially throwing the bomber to a fighter. But there wasn't a fighter built, and it is one tile out. Oh, that would have been an amazing kill. That's a gutsy strike. Definitely, if I'm charging it with a Neo tank like that, well, there's a bomber there, 100% building a fighter. Just go with Copter and bring the two anti-airs over. Hopefully they're able to handle it. Bomber goes for a Neo tank. Ah! The two anti-airs barely. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just can't quite reach. On the bright side though, pretty much all the units around this bomber are killable. And CatWithYarn still has very nice double comm tower situation going on. This can actually swing all the way down and hit this tank. And potentially has missiles, almost. They're anti-air, like it, recon, copter. I think these are very good buys. Yeah, copter comes down. It's the tank. That's okay. Another beatdown. Wasn't even needed. That's already in range. I guess this copter got trapped there. Yeah. The power usage from Vianmeor is a little questionable. There's gonna be some scary missiles landing here, and then the anti-air is gonna be a bomber. Like here. Oh, I was able to hit both of these down here. Never mind. Nice. Anti-air down. Copter clears copter. It gets vision. Bye-bye bomber. Copter hits that, and then the tank. Very nice. And that's why it's really hard to fight Rachel. You like group your units together in a fight, and then suddenly they all get hit by missiles like that. These copters are getting some nice damage done down here. Yeah, Vianmeor resigned. I think the CatWithYarn did a really good job of playing this. There were some coverage problems that we saw. Just a little bit of work there. I think Vianmeor also played pretty darn well. The one thing I would say to work on is definitely the power usage. Being more patient on the button there. Just let yourself build up the super, or only use the normal power if you can get some serious value out of it. And vision, yeah, Vianmeor had some vision problems. Yeah, you did a very good job with vision. You had lots of recon. Next we have Quick Slow versus SKOP. Also too patient with builds, that's true. Saving up that much is a bit much. You found the poster that reveals the ages of the Advanced Wars characters. You came back to the screen to see missiles in flight. Oh, well, they're already the right colors. Look at that. It was destiny. Yeah, I knew Andy's like a kid. Yeah, it's kind of messed up. Alrighty. So this is a kind of a weird map. There's you have a lander and an APC just given to you, as well as a recon and an artillery. They're just kind of sitting out there. Drake is 15? I didn't know Drake was 15. Sammy's a fully trained commando and commanding officer at 17. That's amazing. Beer gut at 15, a true man. Fog players can rejoice knowing this map is out of rotation. Well, maybe that means Ingegark will be coming back. I think Ingegark said that they weren't playing Fog because of this map. It's gonna be a fight for the new rank 1 of Fog, because I've turned off my Global League games. So once my game against Tordread finally ends, I will be out of the Global League for a while as I take a nice vacation from it. I think Nightmare, Inkegark, and Tordread are all in contest to try and take rank 1 in Fog. What about this map? It just sucks. Well, the things I don't like about this map are forests in the choke points, because that's inherently going to be very hard to break and very stally. Shadower 122. Oh. Pixel's going for a very quick airport here. Looks like SKOP might be doing the same thing though. He's using a different infantry. I think that's... yeah. That is just a worse play, because it's just delaying this city capture return. It's a worse play, but it's a fancier play because it involved a boost rather than a transport. Got the units in the same places. Isn't getting a city, but it was a boost instead of a transport, which makes it a fancier play. And we all know that fancy matters the most when you're playing the game. It's whoever can make the fancier play wins. It might actually end up costing SKOP quite a bit, because if this recon's able to like intercept the infantry because it's delayed, then that's really bad. I mean, it also costs in actual money. The whole 1K. The other moves over here though seem pretty good. The recons are seeing each other. Is it gonna be a recon violence? This would be an amazing attack. There'd be no reason to go for it. Oh. Quickslow has a fancy boost of their own. Okay, this is kind of weird. Usually, if you're going to rush the airport like this, you usually build a copter, because that's why you're rushing it. But instead builds an artillery to get rid of this recon. But it's not the worst thing. Well, in this case, it's kind of bad because SKOP did not at all predict the fast copter. But usually, I would highly recommend getting a really early anti-air, because a really early copter is very strong, because this is a forward airport. So it's going to start mattering immediately. Okay. Quickslow very awkwardly Just sitting here with a lander with an infantry in it, waiting for this recon to die. Timing could be a little bit better. Hey! That's okay. Oh, the copter was just delayed a single turn, but it's still coming out. But if it was out last turn, it would be interrupting this capture. It could be interrupting this comm tower. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's actually a pretty big deal if it could, if it was down here a turn earlier. With the artillery here, it could be firing. Yeah, I mean, this area over here is atrocious for fighting in fog. Yeah, the middle is pretty open, but there's like no reason to fight in the middle because there's this huge dead zone of no properties. So these are like the properties you aim at first, and you're having to deal with all these rivers, and you're having to deal with forests. Like this is the most choke pointy forest of all. It's so hard to break. There's a few things you can do here. You can rush their comm tower and go for the double comm tower plays. I think it only really works as Sonya, who has that extra vision to work with, which helps you evade your opponent's vision while also making it easier to provide vision for your own artillery. But that is something you can do if you don't want to do what these guys are doing. Some decent routing you can do with the APC. You can see the chokiness has already started to come into play. Surprised. Okay, I was gonna say I'm surprised we haven't really seen the anti-airs out yet, but they have both built one now. Whoa, this is actually a surprisingly effective strike force. If it had, like, if this was an anti-air instead of an artillery, then this entire area would like just immediately fall. I guess this guy's still on his way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Doesn't quite cover this city though. But they will be able to cover this city. So Quick Slow is in a little bit of trouble here. We'll see if... Wow. The copter just waited. Well, Sonya has two advantages, right? You can use your extra vision to like make your artillery more effective, but you can also break these awful forest tiles because you can see through them.
Access granted.
She also has good copters. I mean, she's still gonna hate like playing against Andy. Just because she hates fighting Andy in general. But she does have some speciality for a map like this. The leverage. Did that copter get trapped? Seriously? Oh, that copter flew back and then hit this pipe seed. That's mind games for you. The quick slow might be like, oh, there's 3 copters, but no. There is still but 2. I do like breaking this. I think breaking this pipe seems pretty good. You're holding the line. Yeah, Sonya can reveal this really easily. Poor copter. Recon versus recon. Ooh, recon versus recon with a recon kill. Dang, that's Grimm for you. You don't see this every day, but apparently two Grimm recons can kill a recon on the road. Grimm privilege, yeah. It finally happened. That's another reason to play Grimm right there. Is it Grimm mech? Grimm mechs are pretty decent. Usually they want to be like in a forest, but they're decent, of course, because they hit so hard. You're told that before units had a moving animation, lost and found left his copter on the airport that his enemy could see in fog, and his opponent thought they were copter spamming. Yeah, if there was no replays, I could see that. Or yeah, no movement, and they can't like see the other tiles around. That would be very funny. No, the mech. A 5 health mech still hits pretty hard. Especially with copter support. Oh, yeah, the copter's got other stuff. Although it might still go down there. We'll see. Grimm does have power. Oh, Grimm goes in straight for the power. That's going to be to kill copter and then tank hits anti-air, I imagine. I like this fallback from Grimm. And very nice. Interesting. That's the tank. Maybe I don't know if Grimm knows about this artillery. We're gonna find out if this is a super value artillery or not. Tanks must know about it because those things did not dive in there, or might just look at this formation. Sometimes the formation kind of gives away if there's an artillery. Okay. Grimm's been getting a lot of value down here. Big retreat from quick slow. And holding the super here. Tank is to hit tank. Oh my gosh. That's definitely dreaming a dream right there. You. Copter. Oh, look at that. It's such a good block. I mean, ideally, the infantry would be here. What can you do? Slow. With the block rock super. Breaking on in here, taking out this artillery. Oh, but man, that's... Ugh. It does take out the artillery. Oh no. really needed to keep this 2 health tank right here to stop tanks from coming through here, making sure this guy has to hit the 2 health tank. Especially because this doesn't stop the capture. I'm surprised there hasn't been more copters from pretty slow. No normal power. Normal power looks really good here to me. But I'm not upset about it not being used. I think it just, yeah, it would have just meant like this guy probably died. Probably not worth it. Just save it for later. Need it for the medium tank. Yeah, that makes sense. I think it's some nice value there. Really, the problem that both players are running into now is that they just don't have enough infantry, and that's just, a lot of that's going to be because it's base light. But as soon as the players start running out of infantry, the game will naturally just kind of stall. Because you can't change what the income is like. Is Grimm doing Grimm things right there. Five damage to the medium tank. Poor copters over here. They're like, where's the targets? Where are the targets? Okay. Yeah, here comes the group up around the choke point, right next to some protection. What's this? There's one. Oh, this is the city. This is the city that Grimm has. That Jake is missing. Giving an economic advantage to Grimm. It's probably getting a little... I'd be diving a little deep there. Grimm bomber. So the problem... Like, Grimm bombers, they do a lot of damage, as one might expect. But unlike with other COs that can live anti-air hits, Grimm bombers cannot live in anti-air hits. You have to be... When anti-airs hit bombers really hard, but usually like knock him down to 2. Just kill a Grimm one. Ooh. Artillery got the hit on that medium tank. That's a big deal. Yeah, it's looking pretty good for Grimm here. Surprised that copter went down there. I thought that copter was going to come down here and kill this tank, and then the anti-air kills this tank. Hitting the recon. I mean, I guess it killed the recon, so I can't complain too much about that. I'm surprised that killed the recon. I mean, I know it's Grimm with a power, but still 3 health tank against 4 health recon on city. You do get less defense bonus from terrain based on HP, so it's not like it was a 30% extra defense recon. But still, it had like 10-ish%. Jake Blockrock is looking be in a little dire straits here. The bomber might actually end the game here, because as soon as it takes out this anti-air, Jake has no answers. Oh, never mind. What a cheeky little block. Look at that. Now the copters have to go all the way around this way every time. Lander down. Yeah, Quick Slow is looking to be in a tough spot, and there's the resign. Very well played. There was some really nice little tactical maneuvers we saw there. Very good use of Grimm artillery, of Grimm copters. Grimm copters are really good. But the early engagement with like the recon artillery and some infantry that just win this property and then just keep the pressure on over here was very, very good. Well played. I think I'm gonna call the stream there. Almost 4 hours. You got another one for tier 1 against Quick Slow as well. Yeah, send it in. Good night, everyone. I will leave you with an apple. Good night. Good night.